Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today I have an interesting topic to discuss. Yesterday I was having a conversation with one of my friend where they had an requirement to move a database hosted on an Azure SQL to AWS RDS SQL instance. So we were just exploring like what all options are available and just checking things. And I found one of the solution was pretty interesting and it was new to me. So I thought of sharing it with you all. So in this video we are going to see like how you can do that migration and what option we used to achieve that. So most common suggestions which we found was through backpack where you can apply that backup on your AWS RDS, and other solution was to go with AWS database migration service where you configure your source and target endpoints and set up the job, those stuff. Okay, and another option which I saw is like there is a different product which is there in the AWS marketplace called Cloud Basics. Okay, so this is the high level architecture. I've just kept it simple. Okay, just removed all other things. So this is how the setup is going to be, like what we are going to do the for what which we are going to do the migration. Okay, so this is going to be our source. The Azure instance is going to be our source and I have a Azure SQL database which is created, and I want to move this database or migrate this to a AWS RDS SQL database. Okay, and to do this, okay, I'm going to use Cloud Basics product, okay, which is there in AWS marketplace. So I'll just show it to you in a while. And this is just a high level setup. Again, we'll come back to this slide or this page again, and with this I'll just switch my console to the portal. So let's see in action like how this can be done. Okay, so before starting let me quickly show you. This is my RDS database, RDS instance. So I have like couple of databases which I have created, and then I have my Azure SQL database which is at the bottom. So let me just quickly do a refresh, and this is the database which we are going to migrate, Azure to AWS DB. This is my database name which we are going to do the migration, and this has few bunch of tables. These are all like sample tables which I just created during the deployment of the database. Okay, so this is the EC2, and we don't have this database here on my EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go back to the diagram once. So this setup, how it is going to work is, so I'm going to have a separate agent or a EC2 instance where all my jobs are going to run. Okay, that's where I'm going to configure the jobs and define what is my source and destination, all those things. And now let me go back to AWS console, and here if you come and search Cloud Basics, you see this. Okay, this is the product which we are going to use. So compared to other two options, I found comparatively this was like very less used, but I felt like this tool had very nice features. So once you subscribe, so you have to have a EC2 instance deployed where this software would be installed. Okay, so I already have a EC2 instance installed, for this. Okay, just to save some time, I've already done that configuration. You can see I have a EC2 instance running, and this is my EC2 instance. This is how it's going to look like. So this will be a web-based application, and I've just connected with port 80. So you will get that instructions when you attach an VM, when you do the configuration. Okay, it is pretty much straightforward. So then you will get the username, and username usually will be admin, and then the password. Password usually will be your the temporary password will be the instance ID. EC2 instance ID will be your temporary password, and then you will reset and land on this page. Okay, maybe you might not be seeing this dashboard and all with, because if it is a first time login. This is how it looks. Okay, the console basically. Now what I can do is I can go here and set up new replication. Okay, so this is how the page looks, and here I can define what is going to be my source. So in this case I'll go for Azure SQL database and click on next. You have different bunch of other options where like you can use this tool, like if you are migrating SQL Server to Redshift or S3 data lake. So there are other options. For our demo, I'm going to choose the very first option, SQL Server to SQL Server replication. Okay, let's proceed. And with this setup I have three options. Okay, one is continuous replication with automatic seeding and change tracking activation. Okay, other one is continuous replication with semi automatic seeding. So this is the second option, is something which you use for very large databases where you want to maybe back up your database and then restore it, and from there push your incremental changes, those sort of things. And the very last option is like it is one time replication, where like you're going to push it and just leave it. Okay, so for our demo we'll go with the very first option, where we are going to make use of change tracking, and you also have an option to go for CDC as well. Okay, I'll show you where you can choose that, but for us this is the option. I'm going to go with the very first option. Okay, now this is the place where you define the source and destination. Okay, in our case source is going to be Azure SQL DB, and I'm going to define my endpoint. So since I have already done it in the past, I am just using it. Just in case if you don't have it, you can go to your portal anytime. This is my Azure SQL database, and I have my server name here. So I just have to copy it and bring it here. Then again, like let's get the DB name. No, so this is going to be my DB name, and let's put it here. Login, again, like whatever login you have defined while creating the Azure SQL database, you're going to give that. And then location, I have created in Asia Pacific, I'll go with that. Now this is going to be my destination. So RDS managed instance is what I have chosen. That is our destination, and I have to define the endpoint for the AWS one. So again I can go back to the console, and I'll show you from where you can pick it up. So this is my RDS instance. Here I have my endpoint, and port is 1433. If I go ahead and define this, now for all the scenarios in this with this tool, on the destination your database should not be created. Let's say if I'm picking a database which already exists, it's going to throw an error. Maybe we'll quickly see that as well. For example, let's say I take test. Maybe let me go back. So this is going to error out, but let's see. I have given my name, and let's define the password. I've chosen Express Edition for this demo, and again, this is in Asia Pacific. I'll just want to replicate the tables and let's see. Now I've given the test connection. Okay, so here I got an error saying the database must not exist. So this is what I was saying. So this tool is going to create the DB. So I'll go with the same name for now. Okay, now let's run the test connection again. It is better to do this before you proceed with any other step, so that you will know like the connectivity is all in place. Maybe you might encounter error like with regards to firewall and all. So for Azure you can go and add or set the firewall at server level, where if I go and go to the server I can go to the networking and set the firewall here. Okay, I think this is my AWS the EC2 instance firewall, which I have already allowed. So that is one place where you have to allow. And for RDS also you will have a security group where you can go and define the firewall rule. Okay, now moving on. So now we know like our connectivity is working fine. We have something called advanced tab next, just next to the basics, and this is where you will define your replication job. Like if you want to rename your replication jobs and everything, like you can do it here. Okay, and limit parallel table replication to 5. So 5 is the default. You can change it, and this is what I was talking about. Like you can either go for CDC or change tracking. Okay, and if you don't want to go with these two also, like I think you had the third option where these two will not be, none of this will be used, so that will be like a one time replication of your entire DB. So where something like snapshot would be taken and applied. And apart from that you do have few other options which are optional, like if you want to enable TDE or if you want to rebuild index upon completion, those things you can do it. And you do have additional filters, like let's say if you want to exclude any objects from being replicated, that is something you can define here. And that's all we have in the advanced tab. Now what I can do is, like now I know the test connection is done, I can say start replication, and it has to say like will be change tracking will be enabled. Okay, let me quickly show you like what is my database properties. Let's go here and let's quickly see. Right now I don't have change tracking enabled. Okay, but that tool, once we acknowledged it, it's going to go and enable change tracking and it will start replicating the data. Let's click on proceed and let's go. This is the console where you will be seeing the logs of what is happening. Okay, and so you'll be seeing what step by step, like what all things it is doing, and at the end you also have an option to like download all the logs once things are done. Okay, so see, you view DB script, you have an option to view the DB script, like what it got executed. Let's say if you want to use that script in anywhere, you can use it. So this is the script, how it looks like, and now we know like our job is running. Okay, let's go and check our database. This is my RDS instance. Let me expand. Now you see I got my database created. I can quickly expand the tables and see what all objects I have, and let's run some sample queries. No, so this is having the data. I just have one record here, and this has about 295 records. Let's quickly do a small comparison between our the source and destination, just to make sure we have correct set of data. So this looks fine, and this is like, which one, sales dot product. Let's quickly select this. Yeah, 295. This looks good. Okay, so whatever option we have chosen, it is going to replicate the data continuously. Okay, so which means now let's go ahead and insert some data. Okay, let's see if that is also getting transferred. So to keep things simple, I'll go with this build version table, so that it's easy for us to identify. Now this is my Azure SQL DB. Let's insert some values. Insert into build version values, and I know this column is a identity column, so that it gets automatically incremented. Maybe I'll copy the DB version from here, and let's say this is the new version which I'm making an entry, and rest two columns I'll go with get date and do this insert. Now let's go here and query. You see, like, that data got immediately replicated to my destination, which means that, like, it's like real-time replication is now happening. So you could do this setup, and during your cutover you can stop all the replication jobs in the cloud basics, and run your AWS RDS instance as a primary one, and go ahead with that. Okay, so you see, like, how easily we were able to move our Azure SQL database to AWS RDS instance. So that's how easy it is with the cloud basics tool. Okay, so this is the chart for us. So you can see, like, everything is healthy, and everything is running fine, all green. Okay, so this is one option which I thought, like, it was interesting, and I just wanted to share it with you all. So that's all I have for this video. Just let me know in the comment section if you have already used this tool, or what is your thoughts about this. Yeah, okay, thank you guys, bye.